vast majority, the mass of your folks, aren't maybe interested in this sort of information, and so we throw it out. But keep in mind that what you might be throwing out may be exactly the sort of content that these mass influencers need to activate their influence. Because what they can't do is create mass influence for your brand in a void. If you aren't providing new products, if you aren't providing new content, if you aren't providing new programs, these people cannot exert mass influence. So think about the content they need and make sure that that is available to them. And finally, understand the characteristics and size of your mass influence audience. Well, let's talk about how we do that at Forrester and how you can do it as well. First of all, it's important to know that there are two ways that we measure mass influence. There are some places that we can measure impressions, and there are some places we can only measure posts. So let's talk about what that means. To measure influence impressions, we look at, as we do our surveys, the number of posts that people make about products and services, the number of friends and followers they have, and that allows us to know the total number of peer impressions that are made. So we can measure these influence impressions in social networks, places like Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we can count the number of impressions. We know from our research that in the U.S., adults are creating 256 billion influence impressions on each other in these social networks about products and services. But there's also a whole range of social channels where we can't measure the number of impressions. We have to measure the number of posts. In this case, we look at the number of posts that are made. We don't know the number of friends, but we can estimate the peer impressions that are made. So these are things like forums, blogs, blog comics, and ratings and reviews. These are all places where people will comment and share their thoughts, but they can't know how many people read them. So we know that these people in social and other social